Hello. I think you have to unmute yourselves.
Hey, hey, that was good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Hey,
Yeah,
Hi.
so
Hi,
that's
Jonathan.
the second time for some of us.
Yeah.
First time for
First time for me.
Steph.
Yeah.
So I
That's
guess
cool.
I'm just curious to hear what Steph thinks about the
It's
episode.
pretty fascinating. I mean, the whole idea of controlling time and
Controlling time, yeah, that's right.
having one timeline. It just sort of makes you
Yeah.
think about where everything sort of in the Marvel universe fits with timelines and things.
Yeah, so we did talk about this on Friday. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like Jono keeps saying it's
Hmm.
it's sort of like predetermined in a way because
Yeah.
the
Well, the
time
concept of free will.
yeah like the time
It's very
lords,
interesting.
they sort of have this idea of what they think the timeline should be like, as in like their sacred kind of timeline.
Sacred
Yeah.
timeline.
So everything that we've seen so far in what's happened in the Marvel universe has all been like
According to their plan.
yeah, it's like
According to their plan.
dictated by the time lords.
And they take down anyone who messes with the timeline, basically, and that's what the TVA was set up for. Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems like they don't care about some events, like the whole DB Cooper event.
Yeah.
So does Steph know about the DB Cooper, like in real life? Like it's actually a real.
No, not real.
It's actually a real. I didn't actually know about it.
Yeah.
I kind of knew about it because they kind of spoofed it in Mad Men as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me bring up this article.
The real events.
Well, what Screen Rant says about the real DB Cooper in the MCU.
Okay.
Actually, no, this is an old article. Where was that one? Loki Cooper. Yeah, this one. Loki is DB Cooper. Real life history explained. So this is actually a real planned sort of hijacking.
I see.
So, and what they're trying to say is actually it's Loki. So he messed up he was what is it? Like he was a passenger on the plane.
Yeah.
And then he said he had a bomb on board.
Because it's actually quite accurate to what actually happened.
Yeah, but then the funny thing is the reason he did it was that he lost a bet to Thor.
Yeah, so this is the MCU's explanation of it, but not the proper history of it.
Obviously, yeah. Like, obviously, that's not part of the real life story.
Because no one really knows who that hijacker was. Their name was DB Cooper. But
I see.
He jumped off a plane, definitely, but no one really knows what happened to him.
But then the funny thing is the Time Lords allowed this to happen. So it's like they're having a bit of fun as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. And certain things like what Thanos did, they didn't stop it, sort of thing as well. Like, I mean, there were certain events, I guess, that they could
have so that's what we're saying, right? It's like kind of like whatever they think should be is what is sacred to the timeline. And then anything else is like I don't know, like a variant.
Yeah, that's right.
So going back in time was actually part of their dictation.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because what would they think about, say, Steve Rogers going back in time?
Yeah, so that was actually part of, I think, in their view.
Yeah,
in their view, that's actually what they wanted to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems so.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, we thought it was fascinating, and also
that whole concept,
and also the whole concept of the fact that Loki has to fight his own variants.
Yeah. Yes. But an interesting thing which was picked up in an article as well, I did see that someone thinks that they saw Agent Carter in this episode.
Oh, really?
Agent Carter? Really?
Yeah, just in one scene, someone looks like Agent Carter in the background.
Could be, yeah.
But it's not confirmed.
Okay. Yeah, there's been some new articles since we discussed it on Friday.
Yeah, so that's actually a
Yeah.
new possible Easter egg, if it actually is or not.
Be, yeah.
Let me see if I can find that. Agent Carter, Loki. Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it resembles her. But was it Hayley Atwell's Agent Carter?
So is Agent Peggy Carter in TVA custody along with Loki? So some people reckon that she's in custody.
Oh, custody.
In one brief scene, it looks like Agent Peggy Carter is in custody. Why? One True Love. A scene in Loki shows someone who looks a lot like Peggy Carter. So if I play this, actually I shouldn't play this because it's copyrighted.
It's less than 15 seconds, so that's usually fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that really brief scene.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Oh, I see. So the person that was being arrested while he was making his escape
Wow.
looks a little bit like her.
Well, were they arrested or was
Or was she
working with them?
Was she working?
with them? Yeah. Well, it says it's unclear if she is in custody or just accompanying the guard on mission.
Oh, yeah.
And is that really Peggy Carter? That's the
Yeah,
question as well.
Yeah, we don't even see her face properly, so we don't know whether it's her or somebody else.
Yeah, and we don't even know if Hayley Atwell actually played that part.
Well, see, some fan says on Reddit, it was Steve's destiny to grow old with her, but not her destiny to grow old with him, making her the variant and not him. That's a very interesting.
So it could be a different Peggy variant.
Yeah. So you're saying that the Peggy who Steve grew old with is not the same Peggy who
passed away, basically.
Passed away.
Yeah.
Or
because it seems like they had two different timelines, and then which one is the real timeline? You know, the timekeepers have to decide which one's the real one.
Two timelines.
Because both can't coexist, really.
Yep. As well as multiple Loki variants.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So something wondered if this was a way for Marvel to address the Captain America time paradox.
That's right.
Created.
I mean, it makes sense to use this as an opportunity to address that.
Just I wonder if TVA is how Cap got back to the original timeline.
Like maybe they chose his timeline, like where he gets to go back and be with Peggy.
Or maybe eventually they merged the timeline so it was the same.
Yeah, or they could find
Yeah. You met Peggy Carter, Marcus, right?
Oh yes, I met. Speaking, I met him. Her. Was that Ghost Comic Con or Supernova?
Oh, okay. You met Hayley Atwell.
Yeah.
This was 2 years ago, I think.
In real person, in real life.
Yeah. That's cool. Comic Con.
I can probably find that.
Probably Australian Supernova.
Okay.
Likely.
Speaking of which, the Supernova is actually next week.
Is it happening still? Is it still going ahead?
It's actually happening next weekend.
Oh wow! Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Where is it going to be? What venue did they choose?
Oh, same. Sydney Olympic.
Yeah.
Bush. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, this weekend is also E3, so.
Oh wow! E3. But E3 is just an online event, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the US is still under that thing, so E3 is all online currently.
It has to be, I guess. Yeah.
But it's no Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But a lot of new games are announced though, so yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How
many episodes will Loki be?
6.
6, is it?
Okay. Only 6.
Only 6, okay. That's cool.
Okay.
Only 6. But then there are like 50-minute length episodes.
It's good length, yeah.
I think that's a decent length, yes. Yeah.
Good story, you fit in a good storyline,
And considering it's like 6 episodes, that's still about nearly 6 hours worth of content.
Yeah.
Actually, closer to maybe 5 hours and a bit.
5 hours. And,
Yeah.
It's pretty
But
good.
still, that's quite a lot of content. That would be like 2 full movies of just Loki.
Yeah.
Considering
2 full movies of
just Loki.
Yeah, that's right.
Because if you consider if a movie is like 2 hours, 2 hours 30, maybe that would be 2 movies.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
let
that's
me
right.
share this with you guys.
All right. What's Here we go. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
This was in Oz
Comic Con.
Oh,
Oz
Comic Con,
Comic-Con.
not Supernova.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It is
Comic-Con.
Oz Comic Con.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But bear in mind, this is her 10 years after her first appearance in
Okay.
the
First
first
Captain.
Avenger.
Yes.
Oh, first
Yeah.
Captain.
So this is actually 10 years older when she first appeared.
2019 September. Yeah.
Yeah, so first Avenger was around 2009 or something.
Yeah.
Considering a lot of these actors and actresses have been in this film
It's been
film
10
series
years.
for a long time. It's been more than 10 years.
Yeah. At least 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, but even Marvel had the 10-year anniversary logo thing. So
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking of the logo, so Jono picked up the colors of the
green and gold.
Loki's color.
Oh,
Yes.
Australia. Yeah.
So it's great that they had that. Yeah. And what I find interesting is when Agent Mobius sort of essentially was accusing Loki of being the one to kill the Minutemen. I thought, well, that's interesting because why would he think it was him?
A different variant of Loki.
Yeah, or a different variant of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the variant that they're chasing is him.
Mm.
Yeah, we did talk about all these variants, and I think this is an updated article about all possible variants from the comic books, at least.
Yeah.
Like Lady Loki, Matt Damon. Ooh, who's Matt Damon Loki?
What?
Yeah,
actually,
that was in Ragnarok.
He was in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Matt Damon.
Yeah. It was a kind of a funny scene because they were trying to reenact what happened.
Matt Damon.
And then there's
that was meant to be a
Ravonna.
bit of a skit.
Yeah, that was
Ravonna
hilarious.
Renslayer, who appeared as the judge.
Oh, the judge. Yeah.
She's called Ravonna.
Oh, Ravonna.
Ravonna Renslayer.
Ravonna.
Oh, yeah, that's her.
I don't know if her name was actually mentioned in the episode.
No, it wasn't.
No.
Silver Age Loki, Sorcerer Supreme Loki, President Loki, Enchantress Ken the Conqueror. If a variant of Ravonna is a candidate for being an evil variant, then so is a lover, Loki.
Yeah.
Kid Loki and King Loki. So you've got a lot of Lokis to choose from the comics.
Wow.
If they ever want to
That's
pick.
amazing.
The President Loki kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there was a scene with him with the voting badge.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Was that Owen Wilson?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Alice.
As Agent
So they
Mobius.
got an A-list actor for this.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool that he's that he's in it. It was an unexpected sort of piece of casting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but-
we kind of knew that he was cast in the series.
Oh.
Yeah.
But then they seem to be getting a lot of other actors into the series now as
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's true.
well. Yeah, even Angelina Jolie is going to be in.
Really?
Eternals. In Eternals.
Oh, you mean
Eternals.
Eternals?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
And Timmy Lear. Or
Sammy Lou.
Shang-Chi.
Oh. Nice.
A lot of big names.
Yes.
Yeah, even that appearance that we were Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah, Julia Louise Dreyfus. I was so surprised to see her
in the Falcon.
Yeah, in the Winter Falcon. Yeah.
What did you think about into the Infinity Stones?
And the funny thing is that they just get put into a drawer.
And they were used as doorstops or something.
That was actually really, really interesting because, you know, in the TVA, they're just like a paperweight.
Paperweight. Yeah, I mean,
it's a paperweight.
See, these were the like stones that people died for, right? And then,
then you have Thanos, you know, with the Infinity Stones, and you think, you know, because he has that in his gauntlet, it's like the most important thing. Like it's, you know, so powerful in the real world.
And now in the TVA, they're just using them as paperweights.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it seems like they're in like a different spatial time.
Oh.
Well, they don't really work.
They don't work in the TVA. Yeah.
Yep.
The Tesseract doesn't work either.
Oh, it's powerless.
So in terms of
magic doesn't work
they say about where the TVA is, it's speculated that they're in a different dimension.
I mean, it has to be outside of, as we mentioned, right? I was saying it has to be outside of like time or something.
Well, it's not outside of time, but it's set in a different dimension where the Infinity Stones do not work.
Right.
So they have to be in the correct dimension for it to work.
Okay.
And as well, they did mention that time does flow.
Maybe in
the
TVA.
Way.
Time still flows there, but
they can influence time though.
They can influence time, yes. So they're definitely in a different dimension. And as well, Owen Wilson himself as Mobius said, time flows differently in the TVA.
Yes.
So time is definitely flowing there still. And it's still constantly being dictated.
And it makes me curious of who these three, you know, timekeepers are, the Time Lords, I guess.
Yeah, we saw them in the animated segment, right?
Yeah, which Loki called lizard men.
Yeah.
But I wonder who were the actors that they cast to play these. You know, I'd be interested to see who they have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you
to
think
play
we'll
those
see
roles?
We may or may not see them, but as well behind the judge, you do see those big faces.
Yeah.
3 big faces.
Recently.
So maybe we'll see them, maybe not.
Yes, that's right.
But I don't know why Loki called them lizard men. But how they explain how the time travel works
Oh yeah.
is actually quite good. They even had like those huge flow charts.
I actually like the animation sort of, you know, video that they had.
Yeah, it actually makes it kind of easy that anyone could understand.
Yeah, the Miss Minute.
Yeah, I think even a kid would understand that version of time travel.
Yes. So I think that was actually quite fun segment.
Yep, and the Nexus event and interdimensional war.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, we talk about all
multiverse.
Those,
I feel like that was
Easter
like a hint to the multiverse of madness, maybe.
Yep, that's what we thought as well.
Yeah, that was hinting at that because of I don't know whether they would consider Doctor Strange as a variant, you know, or whether, you know, or a potential sort of threat. I mean, for now they haven't arrested him, so we don't know.
Yep. Guess we didn't really know, but he's also meant to be the keeper of the time stone.
And because he's the keeper of the time stone, I wonder, you know, how much of a role he plays. Like how he's working. Is he working with the timekeepers? Was he able to defeat Thanos because of that? I don't know. What's his relationship? You know,
maybe he doesn't know that he's working with the timekeepers.
Yeah.
But then I guess we'll know a lot more when Multiverse of Madness comes.
Yeah, I feel like there's a few sort of loose threads there that
just remember that time
are leading into it.
And they did mention a multiversal war.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what they're afraid of. but I think that's probably what will happen.
That is probably what will happen. So I think it would be caused by Wanda.
It can be triggered by what she did in WandaVision.
Yep. And considering that Wanda is a Nexus being, she probably creates the multiverse. So war, maybe. And what we mean about Nexus being, we mentioned it in like the Wanda series. There will only be one version of Wanda. Not like Loki, who has multiple variants.
That's right, yeah.
Being a Nexus being, there could only be one Wanda out of the entire multiverse. But that also means that she can't see the multiverse.
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah. So the timekeepers. Here's a bit more information about the timekeepers. So, who are they?
Yeah.
What is their origin story? Did we see this in the episode?
Slightly.
It would have been very quick because
it was really quick.
The tree kind of do they look like lizards though?
No, they do.
They don't look like lizards to me though. Like
they don't, but I have no idea why Loki would call them lizard men.
Maybe he just sort of meant it as an insult, or
Probably it was meant to be an insult, yes.
Yeah, rather than because they look like that.
Oh, yeah.
So apparently, the timekeepers were formed by something called He Who Remains, a powerful cosmic and multiversal entity. Who wanted to bring order to the chaos of the multiverse. So I don't know if they'll ever see this being, but yeah. And then you got time twisters. In the show, the time twisters are actually a device, not like characters. So there's the device that Mobius keeps using.
Considering of this, I wonder if the Watchers know about the timekeepers as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there are 3 members, but there was actually a 4th, apparently. But well, in the comics anyway. But yeah, Watchers. So Jono was talking about Watchers, interfering with the Watchers. The timekeepers said they are not allowed to interfere and should never be interfered with.
They only watch.
But timekeepers don't just watch; they interfere.
No, they have to
they have to enforce the
they maintain
the sacred timeline.
Yes.
So that's what the Minutemen do. They go to these different time periods, right?
To reset the timeline.
Right. Yeah. Oh, Nexus being. This is what Jono said. One of the other missions that Timekeepers sent Immortals on was to destroy a Nexus being, Wanda Maximoff. So, implications are extremely clear. WandaVision has now shown that Wanda really is a Nexus being, meaning she could be the one to create a multiverse of madness.
Yeah, that's what we think might happen. Because there's only one of Wanda.
Yes. That's right.
Compared to Loki, which has multiple variants that we know of.
Preserving their power. They want to preserve their role in the universe. Loki might see the god of mischief be the one to completely undo the lives of the timekeepers. Interesting.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
What are their powers? Oh yeah, this is interesting because we talked about the ancient one who we thought
That's
had
right.
some kind of knowledge about the timeline diagram, because she was explaining time to
Doctor Strange.
To Banner.
No,
Bruce Banner.
Yeah,
Bruce Banner.
Banner.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It was the Hulk.
Kang actually destroyed the timekeepers in the comics.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know, but we'll soon be seeing Kang the Conqueror anyway in the
Ant-Man.
Yeah, in the series, right? Yeah.
Quantumania.
Because is he meant to be like the big bad of the series?
I'm not sure if it's in this series, but definitely in Ant-Man.
Yep, in Quantumania.
which
Oh,
is
I see.
the
Okay.
movie. Yeah.
So when is the next Ant-Man movie coming
Probably
out?
next year, not this year.
Okay. So it's
Well,
not
it seems like we have like
scheduled.
4 movies this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
because I think it would be too much to pack into this
Black
one
Widow,
year.
Eternals.
Yeah.
What else?
Because we've got
Spider-Man.
Black
Spider-Man
Widow.
and Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
so
we've
that's
got Black
4 already.
Widow, Shang-Chi. Yeah, we've got 4, and it's already quite a jam-packed year. So, yeah,
Yeah, because we didn't get anything last year.
that's right. Yeah, because of
Yeah.
the
Well,
pandemic.
we were supposed to get Black Widow.
Yeah, we were supposed to, as well as
Got-
Shang-Chi. That was pushed
Shang-Chi,
back for a
yeah.
long
So they
time.
both got pushed forward. So
They were pushed back to this year.
Pushed back
Yeah.
to July's coming, so Black Widow.
yeah, well, Black Widow's about to come out soon. So
2-3 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, Black Widow. Yeah.
yeah.
You mean the
And
movie?
Shang-Chi as
Yes,
well
the
is
movie.
coming.
We're gonna watch it in the cinema. you reckon?
Yes, July 9.
July 9.
Yep.
Yep.
Steph, do you reckon you can make that one?
I'll see if I can. I'll see.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Yep,
man.
have to see.
Yeah.
And definitely looking for Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi is
Yeah.
August or something. Yeah. Anyway.
I think that's
Oh.
that's slightly later. Yeah.
Yep,
Yes.
it's got
That's great.
Simi Lear in it.
Similarly, yeah.
He's kind of one of the big ones. Star of Kim's Convenience.
Yes.
Oh, I
yes.
see. That's on Netflix. Kim's Convenience.
Yeah. But it's like, it's quite a funny show. I like it. But the series has ended now.
Okay.
Sadly.
Mm.
All right.
But it's like a Korean family in Canada.
Okay. Like it's a comedy sort of series, like a sitcom.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Like if you liked Fresh Off the Boat.
Okay. Is it similar to that? That's quite funny as well.
Yeah. But Fresh Off the Boat was in the past. But Fresh Off the Boat, they did get someone off that show as well, Randall Park.
Oh, I see. So he's guest starring in Kim's Convenience as well.
Randall Park came from Fresh Off the Boat.
Okay.
And Randall Park
Well,
has been in multiple Marvel shows now.
He's been in Ant-Man and he's been in WandaVision, so he's in a lot of things.
So they definitely got him.
Yeah.
And now they're getting someone off the Kim's Convenience show.
Yeah.
Jimmy
Another
Lee.
actor.
And also a big name in Chinese drama, apparently, Aquafina.
And
Oh yeah. Aquafina.
Well, she was in Crazy Rich Asians, so
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So she's
Apparently quite
well-known
popular.
as well. Yeah.
So in the episode, we saw this Coulson for a brief
And Phil
moment.
Coulson, yes.
So I mean, it may be disappointing to fans of Agents of Shield because what this episode is essentially confirming is that the real Coulson stayed dead in the real MCU timeline, but obviously
Alright.
in the TV series he got resurrected.
Okay.
Well,
so
they didn't really mention it properly there.
Yeah, well, we saw was he died.
Well, Phil Coulson did die.
That's
well,
right.
In the sacred timeline, I suppose they made sure he was dead or something. Like I don't know, they didn't.
It's because he didn't share anything about him coming back to life. Now
Yeah,
this
they
doesn't
didn't.
mean that he didn't, but
That doesn't mean that he didn't. though.
that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. As was seen in ABC's Agents of Shield.
Mm.
So it may not 100% confirm that he stayed dead, but we do know that Agents of Shield does take place in an alternate timeline, don't we?
That's right. Yeah,
Mm.
because you were mentioning before about that
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, the book of
In WandaVision,
what's that book? Yeah.
that also appeared in Shield, Agents of Shield,
No, it's a different book.
but you were saying
It's
It's a
still
different book?
it's a different Darkhold.
okay,
Darkhold, yeah.
Darkhold.
Darkhold, yeah.
Because if you watch the Doctor Strange movie, there were actually multiple books with like a lock.
Oh, okay. I know
So
that.
there were
Doc-
multiple
yeah.
Darkholds.
Yeah. So Doctor Strange had one, right? And then, who else has it now? Currently,
You mean in Agents of Shield?
Yeah, I mean, who else has a Darkhold?
I think the one in Agents of Shield was brought back to Comitage.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, because the Ghost Rider came and took it, and he used the portal to bring it back to like Comitage, I think it was.
Okay.
Hey,
And then Wanda has another. So
yeah, at the
Yep.
end of the series, she was
holding that book and she was looking
studying.
through it. Yeah.
Oh, the book, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe creating the multiverse of madness.
But that doesn't actually mean that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was not off canon, because otherwise they probably wouldn't have mentioned like the LMDs.
Yeah.
They might still find a way to incorporate that within
But do you
the
think the
multiverse.
LMDs originated in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or could
They
it be
kind of
some
did, yes.
place else? Or maybe in parallel it also happened in the other timeline.
Yeah.
But according to what they say now, there's only one timeline.
Yeah.
They want to
sacred timeline.
eliminate the other timelines and just choose like one. So I wonder what will happen, if someone does try to destroy the timekeepers, like Kang, and what effect that will be, that will have really now that if there's no one controlling the sacred timeline,
Multiversal war.
then that's gonna be
But see, in the sacred
consequences of that.
timeline, this Loki, he saw his future, right? So he knows
Yeah.
he's actually dead.
But he's also a variant.
Yeah, he's also a variant.
Yes.
I mean,
Well, he
So,
did
I
see
mean-
himself die.
So he saw himself being
So this-
killed by Thanos in the alternate.
so I guess what I'm saying is he has no reason to want to return to the sacred timeline. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, why would he want to go back and just die?
Ah.
But the thing is, if he goes back, he would be reset, so he won't know what happened.
Yeah,
And maybe that's why his other variant is trying to kill, is killing the Minutemen.
Yeah.
Is it perhaps to survive really? Is that why he's done that?
So
Yep.
this is saying how.
But it actually does confirm that Loki did die, though.
Yeah. So this variant Loki says he really doesn't want to return to the main timeline because he knows he's gonna.
Yes.
He's seen his future.
Although there could be another reason why, and part of it I think is sort of given in that hint, when he's viewing the rest of the file, right until the end of the file, when he goes back to that room, that maybe he wants to put things right, in Asgard, all the things that went wrong with the Dark Elves and his family in Asgard, and perhaps it's a way to try and fix that. Is the other motive he could have.
But he can't, because it would be against the sacred timeline.
No matter what he does, you're saying.
Because as what Mobius said, it's meant to happen.
It's meant to happen, yeah.
So the mother dying was actually meant to happen. He can't change it.
Like Frigga.
Frigga, yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
Frigga.
Oh yeah.
But then at the end, Mobius wanted him to help him out, right?
Help him out to catch the other Loki variant.
That's right.
So I mean, why would he want to help though?
Oh.
It's not like he can change his own future, can he? Just by helping him?
I guess we didn't really know.
Yeah.
Or would they bring him back with the multiverse of madness?
Yeah. The organization can use some of Loki's mischievousness.
Yeah.
That's why they need him, because they can't do it by themselves. He's still chaotic and naughty. But since the TVA is hunting down an evil variant of himself, I guess there's no choice but to get Loki to fight himself.
But then they should have gone like a later version of Loki instead of this version, because otherwise this whole redemption arc is for nothing.
Right.
It was strange that they didn't take the slightly later version of Loki.
Yeah, because he changed over time. So they completely erased that whole arc of his redemption.
Mm.
But doesn't that still happen, or does it not happen anymore? The redemption.
Well, it's still supposed to happen, but they got an earlier version of Loki, so he hasn't lived through those events.
Right. Okay, but so this version obviously, yeah. But he kind of saw that it could happen. Is that right?
He saw it, but then he saw himself die.
Yes, so he'd already seen his future by watching right until the end of the file.
Yeah.
So he actually watched himself go through a redemption, but he hasn't actually lived it. So he's not really the same Loki.
That's right.
So they completely got rid of that arc.
Yes.
With this Loki.
But then that redemption, all that stuff is still supposed to happen, isn't it?
It's still supposed to happen if he gets reset and put back into the timeline, yes.
Yes.
Right, okay. So the question is...
Why did they basically arrest him at this point in time?
Well, they need him, right? They need
this version of Loki rather than a later Loki. But maybe they thought they could get more out of this Loki.
Yeah.
Or maybe the later Lokis didn't break the sacred timeline, so he didn't have to be captured. So maybe the only one they could get is this timeline version of Loki, which happened because the Avengers went back in time to change.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose Loki has a point in that, they are just as responsible for that disruption, the Avengers, as he is.
But at the same time, the Time Lords wanted the Avengers to go back. So that was...
That was supposed to happen.
Yeah, but because they approved of it, they sort of,
They kind of mistakenly created that Loki variant as well.
Hey, do you know why on the plane? Why did Loki have a bomb on the plane?
It was part of the DB Cooper story.
Yeah, it's part of the DB Cooper.
Yeah, it's the real life. Just now we were saying how this is Marvel's explanation
of the DB Cooper mystery, which has never been solved.
And Madman tried to explain it. Madman tried to explain it too. No, Marvel. This is Marvel's version.
Yeah.
Maybe apparently I don't know. Maybe maybe DC has their own version. So
maybe.
Who knows? Yeah.
Because it's a whole conspiracy about that. Like, what is the true story? And who was DB Cooper in the end?
Yeah.
Since no one really knows, that opens up a lot of iterations and ideas.
Yes.
I see.
So what we know is DB Cooper went on a plane, which was a 727. He gave a note to a flight attendant, and it actually said that he had a bomb.
Yeah.
And then he
practically hijacked it, asked for
money, right?
Asked for money.
He asked for money and those suit to jump out the plane.
All right, here's the thing again that we saw real life history explained.
DB Cooper.
DB Cooper.
Is he Loki though? Or not really? Oh.
Well, Marvel's
this is Marvel's version.
Loki is DB Cooper
in the Marvel version.
But in the real history.
Oh, the real version, yeah.
Well, no one knows, right?
Yeah,
he's not an adopted frost giant.
Definitely not Loki.
Obviously not Loki.
Yeah, it looks a bit different. Yeah,
it doesn't take away the bizarre way he managed to escape without ever being caught, right? So that's a mystery that's never been solved. This was November 24th, 1971. Way before any of us born, right? So he demanded $200,000 in cash and 4 parachutes.
Yeah, he asked for parachutes.
He also gave the flight crew all instructions on where to fly next after refueling in Seattle.
Ah,
So the hijacker originally referred to himself as Dan Cooper, but in the early days, DB Cooper became his publicly known moniker. Okay, it's interesting. So a journalist actually accidentally misread.
Misread his name, and that's how he became DB Cooper instead of just Dan Cooper. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, in what we saw, they only called him Mr. Cooper. So
Mr. Cooper.
So they didn't really mention DB Cooper, but Owen Wilson said you were DB Cooper.
Yeah.
Because he knows the story as well.
He knows the story.
He knows the story.
Oh, Owen Wilson knows the story too.
The character Mobius, yeah.
Yeah, Mobius went to Loki and said, "You were DB Cooper."
Oh yes, yeah.
So the world, it is his escape that the world is still trying to understand to this day. So he jumped into the night, and it's unclear what happened to him next.
Yeah.
So there were some signs that he has survived, but we don't know. Yeah, no one knows exactly what happened after that.
But apparently the flight attendant is still alive.
Yeah. Oh,
like the real life flight attendant to talk to DB Cooper.
So if you want some theories, I'm sure people have a lot of theories about who he could be.
Yep.
But yeah, so this is Marvel saying that it's Loki.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the investigation was suspended in July 2016.
Wow. So it was actually went on for a long time.
It's fair to say he will never be found because he's probably dead already. Well,
probably.
Actually, not. I mean, yeah.
Well, the flight attendant is still alive, so we didn't really know.
He might still be alive, but they just gave up, I think, because they had more important cases.
1971. Yeah, he could still be alive, but really old, I guess.
Yeah, because if the flight attendant is still alive, then yes, it's likely that he is still alive, but really old.
Yeah.
But they probably just thought it wasn't worth pursuing anymore, since they still hadn't gotten anywhere really after all these years.
And there's just way too many theories now.
Yeah, it's just
But it's
unsolved
kind
case.
it's kind of a fun nod to an unsolved case.
Which is appropriate, right, for Loki, because he's like the god of mischief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
God of mischief.
Yeah.
Yep, I guess we'll never know the true story.
It's an unsolved mystery.
Yeah.
At least we have a Marvel explanation for it.
Yeah, an interesting one.
Next up is if DC will make a interesting thought to it.
I mean, considering that DC has got their own time travel show called Legends of Tomorrow, I'm surprised that they have not done an episode on this yet.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do. They just go back in time, and in a way, it's similar to the TVA. They are trying to make sure that no one kind of disrupts the
sacred timeline.
I guess they haven't really watched that show, but are they using real life events or historical events?
Yeah, they use historical characters.
Okay.
Like Albert Einstein. Ooh, okay, go back to make sure that he managed to come up with his theory of relativity and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, as long as they don't screw up the timeline, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But from what I heard from the show is it's a bunch of misfits,
yeah.
Who mess around with the timeline and stuff it up.
Yeah, pretty much. It's one of those odd, kind of funny. It's the most wacky show currently on DC.
Should I watch it?
Where is it on? What streaming platform is it on?
I think on Australia, probably Binge.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll find a way, maybe. I'll see what it's about.
It's quite a few seasons already though. Like
Oh, okay. So
and
it's
to
actually
be
been
honest, it actually got better. The first two are not that great,
okay.
So
but
they just mess around with time.
but by season 3, I think it's managed to find its groove. You know,
Okay.
it's just
That's good.
it's just decided, hey, we're just gonna be this crazy show.
Or maybe now, since Marvel has done it, it will get DC to make their own version.
Yeah, maybe. I
Maybe
guess
this is the trigger that DC needs to create their own version.
Yeah, of DB Cooper thing.
Yeah.
DC, I guess one big difference though is DC is actually really embracing multiverse, multi-timelines. They don't care anymore. Whereas, I don't know,
Yeah.
Marvel may seem to still want to have a sacred timeline, right? Because
They still
everything's
want
consistent.
some sort of
Yeah.
Control.
So that's a big difference.
Yeah.
Well, that I think makes a lot of sense, especially since everything is under the whole Marvel Studios moniker.
Yeah, that's right. Whereas in DC,
it's like a big mix.
They kind of like they like different creators to have their own spin on things.
Yeah, and that's what I found the problem the most with DC shows. The continuity is lacking.
Yeah, that's true. Although we did discuss this, and I was kind of pointing out how there is a plus in as well, because someone new can jump in really easily into like a DC film and not be, in Marvel you have 23 movies now.
Yes, and to understand it all, you'd have to watch a lot of them, otherwise you don't understand it.
Yeah, it's like missing pieces of the puzzle if you don't watch certain films. So, yeah.
But on the downside of continuity that is lacking is there is no proper flow. So if they try to make like a series type of show, or even go up to the Justice League show, that was a really big mess.
Yeah.
Because there was no continuity of what's happened in the past shows. So none of the events actually come together.
Yeah, the Snyder thing is obviously, Zack Snyder, that whole fiasco with Snyder, and they messed it up. And he had to come back to redo it.
Yeah.
Well, the Snyder Cut was definitely a lot better. That they tried to have a continuity of the show.
That's right, but the problem is DC has already
directly
moved away.
flowed from the previous movie.
The problem is the DC doesn't treat the Snyder Cut as canon.
So practically DC is completely screwed up.
Yeah, and so I think that's why they say screw it. We don't want this whole consistent, like unified Marvel. It's too hard. So
I think if there's problems with the studio, if there's like conflicts and problems with the studio and the director, then that's going to be very difficult to have that consistency, because they can't even agree,
Which, I mean, in a way, I don't really have a problem, because why should they just copy Marvel? If they want to do their own thing, it's a good thing. Otherwise, it's
I guess so, but then it's still not great, because now they don't have a Batman, or they have a new version of a Batman.
Well, yeah, so the coming Batman 2021, Robert Pattinson is a different Earth Batman than
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I am glad though that they're bringing in the other villains that we haven't seen in a reboot yet. That I think the Riddler might be coming back, or the Penguin. So I'm glad there will be new versions of that.
Riddler.
But I mean, the problem is though that again, that lack of consistency, where they're just basically rebooting or resetting every time.
Yeah,
they're just saying that this Batman happens on Earth 53, right? And then the Michael Keaton Batman 89 takes place on Earth 89, perhaps. And so it opens up possibilities, like these different Batman could potentially coexist. Like I think the Flash movie is gonna do that, right? Bringing them all together. So
Flashpoint paradox.
Yeah. I think the
Could
Flash
be.
movie is gonna bring the Michael Keaton Batman and
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
the Ben Affleck Batman back together.
Oh, really?
That isn't actually
That's
the
interesting.
Flashpoint paradox then.
No, no, you're right. Because Flash Paradox is more like Flash going back in time and changing,
His own past
and also subsequently
and an alternate timeline
yeah,
due to his change.
Yeah, but I think the Flash movie is attempting to do some kind of reboot or reset by having the Flash go back in time. But anyway, we're talking about going off topic.
But let's, yeah, we're gonna have to get back to Loki.
Yeah, but I guess the idea is continuity versus
Yes.
non-continuity.
Yeah,
and that's the theme really
that's
of
the
Loki.
thing.
That's the main theme of Loki. Is like you have to keep within the sacred timeline, and any variant is going to be eliminated.
That's right. So
Yep.
Marvel is definitely
Is locking
for a
down on the
separate
one timeline.
Yeah. Whereas, yeah, which is
actually quite good actually.
Which is quite good, but really difficult to do.
Quite
properly.
difficult to do and quite difficult to follow because there are a lot of movies. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
But at least it's not a big mess like DC's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how to bring DC's group together? How are they going to do it?
I mean,
Because they don't have like a central villain. They don't have anything that all of them would be an enemy to.
if you think about the comic books, they've had the problem for years and decades too. That's why they had all these so-called events called crisis, where they say, "Oh yes, we're gonna bring everything together and restart," and it happened time and time again, and it never really got fixed. So I think now they're saying we actually embrace everything now.
Okay. All right.
Everything matters. Everything has happened, and
okay, I guess that's the DC position then.
yes.
But to Marvel's position, how they got it from like Avengers up to the end of Endgame.
Yeah.
The main enemy remained the same the entire time. It was always Thanos.
Yes.
So essentially all the movies pointed partially towards Thanos.
Yeah.
The Infinity Stones, the Infinity Gauntlets. We see Thanos in person for the first time in Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's the actual consistency that I'm talking about. They all flow together.
Yeah.
So even though they still did their own thing, the central main enemy remained the same.
That's right.
That's right.
DC just doesn't have that.
They tried with Zack Snyder, right? But obviously that failed for multiple reasons.
Zack Snyder's idea to actually have
he actually had an idea for Darkseid to
have Darkseid,
yeah, but obviously.
But according to the DC one, there still is no Darkseid yet.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess some of it is because of studio conflicts. And,
it was. Yeah.
I mean, it's very hard when they can't get along and have these conflicts. So,
yeah, and having so many different studios.
I think that's been the main cause of the chaos, really.
Yeah. At the same time, you do hear about directors who feel creatively limited while working for Marvel to do a Marvel movie because obviously, like it has to.
There's a structure.
There's a structure and there's a look. Already. There's a certain look that has to be consistent.
That's right.
Yeah, some things have to be consistent, but as what they did test with Ragnarok is, it doesn't have to be completely scripted.
Yeah, they've been quite creative in like each type of movie. It has been quite different. Like WandaVision and even in the series, like WandaVision is very different from the Winter Soldier and the Falcon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or even Loki is different again. So.
Or even Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. And
how
Thor
much
Ragnarok
of that show was unscripted?
Yeah, there was a lot of ad lib in there, I think.
Definitely, yeah.
In the
a majority of the script was ad lib.
Yeah. and that's what, at least gives them some creative,
freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So very interesting.
Yep. So creatively, it's not too different because if they could do it with like Ragnarok,
Yeah.
is it really locked down?
Right. Any other Easter eggs that you sort of saw in there?
we did. There were quite a few, so I don't know if I want to go through
Okay.
I
them
think there
all
were
again.
like
What
30
were
Easter eggs.
Well, obviously, DB Cooper I would
Was
say
one of
that's the
them.
biggest Easter egg.
That's the
Biggest
biggest
one.
Yep, and I said the only memory that went full screen.
Yes, that is true.
And I love the fact that they actually recreated that, like in full. Like it wasn't just like
Yeah, I know.
a small snippet, but actually quite an entire sequence that they
Yeah,
did.
everything else was a snippet, but that part was full.
Yeah, that was a full sequence.
The aeroplane thing. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, the aeroplane scene. Yeah.
aeroplane thing, yeah.
that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
That they
they
did
created that entire scene just for the show.
Yeah, I mean
A new
everything.
memory that no one has seen before.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a full recreation of the events.
An impressive attention to detail is what's being described by Screen Rant for that scene.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we've talked about most of them, to be honest. Like
Okay. Yeah.
some of them are really little ones, like the drink that he was Mobius was drinking.
Yeah, that he was offering to
Josta.
Loki.
He was a 1990s drink.
Mm.
Yeah, small little things like that, and possibly a Mephisto reference in the church. Like there was a devil on the.
I saw that
glass window.
stained glass. Yeah.
Yep, and
And
they
I thought-
focused on it as well.
Yeah. And I actually wondered whether
Understand.
that was Loki with horns or whether that was
So
a
it
different.
could also be Loki with horns.
It could actually,
Yeah.
These big
Evil.
horns
Mm.
Yeah.
pointing upwards.
Like I suppose because they were in a church, the child would have thought, "Oh, that's the devil." But
Satan or something, yeah.
but in the Marvel universe, it means one of the characters. It'll mean either Mephisto or Loki when he has the horns. Could be.
But Mephisto is actually a literal devil.
Yeah.
A literal devil.
That's right.
Yeah.
A little devil.
And
Which we're still hoping will be Mark Hamill.
Devil.
He was hinted at in WandaVision, but we never got to see him, and it was a bit of an anticlimax that we didn't get to see it.
We thought the big cameo would be him, but was only
No.
Paul Bettany's Vision,
Yeah.
fighting Vision.
Yep.
Too bad.
Yeah. So they're keeping it under wraps for now.
Yeah, keeping it under wraps. But considering that Loki is leading to multiverse again.
Hopefully we'll see some glimpses, a bit more.
Yeah, it seems so.
Yeah.
Because I think the end of Loki might be the trigger point to start the multiverse. If everything is connected.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting finale.
Yep, definitely will be an interesting finale. Will he be a good guy or will he be bad and kind of break everything? Who knows?
Who knows? We'll see. All right.
All right. Good night, I think.
It's probably yeah.